Hello, Cape Dory fans. This is John Churchill showing you my new Cape Dory 24. ACADIA is her name. She's a 24-foot trawler. I recently purchased her. There's very little information about these boats on the web. There's only 17 of them ever made, but they're an outstanding boat. And I thought I'd give you a little tour here. We will start with the interior. The boat's 24 feet long, but has a fully equipped cabin. Going below here, we can see that there is up forward a V-berth with a standard configuration. There's a nice little table here with a removable leg. This drops down, of course, to form a double bunk. Port and starboard here, there are some nice cubbies. Over here to starboard, we have the screens, as well as a screen for the companionway to keep the bugs out. In the V-berth, port and starboard are a couple of opening port lights, as well as overhead a hatch. And up forward here is a solar vent, so the boat is pretty well ventilated. In addition, there is forward here a fan. There's lots of storage in these bins to each side forward of the boat. Over here on starboard is our ensign and a nice varnished flagpole. We've added a couple of small pillows here. The storage underneath the bunks is a bit limited. Typically you would expect that here underneath would be storage, although this boat has filled with foam flotation, and so on port and starboard here, where you might expect to have big open storage bins, those are filled with foam flotation. Underneath the forward section of the bunk here, there is a storage area, and you can see here it's actually pretty generous sized. This is the, I don't know if you can see well, but under here is the compass for the autopilot. The table is beautifully varnished. Very nice. And then we also have this very nice trawler style lamp, oil lamp. I'm not sure if this shelf here is original to the boat. I think it is, but I'm not certain. I keep my owner's manual, some canvas, and a few navigation tools here. Additionally, you can see there's a 120 volt outlet. Yes, 24-foot boat does have shore power, as well as a power port here for standard 12 volt. And I'll be adding a couple of USB charger portals adjacent to that. Looking here on the aft bulkhead, we see reading lights port and starboard. I've added a carbon monoxide monitor as well. Another reading light on the starboard side. Coming here to the galley. The galley's quite compact, but has pretty much everything we need. On the starboard side here, we have the ice box with a removable lid. From what I can tell, it looks like it is quite well ventilated, and it has big open storage area with a place for our fresh veggies. The lid's not well ventilated, but the sides and the front and back seem to be. There's a 2-burner alcohol stove. Alcohol's a great option on a small boat where you don't really have much room for propane tanks and all that business. And this is a non-pressurized, very safe, very simple little stove with a nice cutting board that covers it. We've got our shore power here with there's a water heater, we've got our outlets, and the bottom switch, which is not labeled, is the battery charger. We've got storage outboard of the ice box. Looking aft, we can see a nice piece of stainless steel, which helps to protect the bulkhead from the heat from the stove. We'll have another oil lamp, and the custom-made 007 is her hull number, Cape Dory Trawler 24. Behind here, this flips down and gives you good access to the back of the instrument panel. There's underneath the sink is 4 drawers, another 120 volt outlet. We've got 4 nice little drawers here filled with various things, as well as on the bottom a bin for storage of pots and pans, etc. And a great place to store the trash can here. Moving over here to the port side, this is the head. It's got a seat. The seat flips up, and there's the manual head. This doubles as a shower seat, although I've not used it. The outboard, there's a locker, which I use for cleaning supplies. And then also above that is an additional locker with first aid kit, toiletries, towel, all that business. The sink, which has both pressure water as well as a manual pump, is here aft to port, with a paper towel rack, shelving to keep things conveniently located. There's the shower head. This is on a nice little removable gizmo if you want to just get that out of the way. On this bulkhead here, we got our ship's clock and barometer. Looking down at the floorboards here, there's very limited storage underneath the floorboard here in front. This is more access to the bottom of the hull. And there's a grate here in the bottom of the sole. When using the shower, the water just drains down into the bilge here and is then emptied by the bilge pump. There's one more locker here, which is next to the head underneath the sink, and it has, as you might expect, the seat cocks for the head and the sink. I keep my flares in there as well. The circuit breaker panel is below the sink. It's got a protective cover on the back. You may have noticed that needs to be screwed down again. It's got a nice number of circuit breakers. Newly replaced fire extinguisher, and the step here is another locker, and in it I keep some supplies, a ditty bag with some gear in it, stove fuel, and a couple of small toolboxes from Dollar Tree, one with tools and one with spare parts for the engine, impellers, and zincs, and fan belt, etc. And that's about all here. This step here is removable, and that gives us access to the front of the engine. I'll pull that out and give you a brief glance of it. And there's the engine. And so that's about it for the tour of the interior of the Cape Dory 24. This is ACADIA 1984 Cape Dory 24 Trawler.